Welcome back to the Techs-Mechs Colony Fiesta Pail. This is episode 6. After the last episode left off, we weren't in a terrible spot. We still have our 3 visitors, Davis, Gibbs, and Zai here with us, and we're no longer burning to death. I feel like that's an important difference to make. We have made some changes here to some of the walls, designated but not completed building yet, just so we can get them properly insulated for the temperature. And we're going to take out some of these extra walls here as well. Just mark them for that. That will give us the ability to more easily equalize temperatures between the 2 zones. That one's turned off. That's why that's the thing. But right now we're doing pretty good. We still have power. We're producing more than we need at the moment still, not by too terribly much. We should probably shore up some power just so that we don't have to worry about only relying on 2 generators in case there is a fire. We do also need to finish replacing walls, so we're going to start by designating some of these for exactly that purpose. I've talked about it for long enough. I just need to get it done. And that way we don't have to worry about fires outside burning through everything. Interior walls, I'm slightly less concerned about. That's probably a bad idea, because all it's going to take is one person who's a pyromaniac to make things go really poorly. But we'll give it a shot and see. Some of our visitors are unhappy. Davis doesn't like that we performed a ritual that was against his religion, but too bad, Davis, you're kind of judgy that way. So I don't care that much. Rock, because we did convert him at the end of last episode, is now going to go change his appearance to be more in line with how he feels it should be. Oh no, that didn't work. Replacing the wall, destroyed the cooler. Let's build a copy of that. Because we need that to be functional. This is still marked unroofed over on the far right side there where it says unroofed 1. So that's good. Still heating back up outside, 36 Celsius. That's pretty big. We'll see where that goes. We're going to mark this to be hauled urgently so it's not blocking the door. Clarcontro is still converted to us, but they're not quite a prisoner yet. Resistance of 12.2. We'll see how that goes. They may stage another prison break before we can do anything else. Our chickens are continuing to multiply, thankfully. We do have this basic egg incubator that is going. It's got some fuel to run for a bit. People will eventually move eggs over to it. Actually, we could use nesting boxes. That would probably be the better way to do it. Do we have the cotton for that? We may not have the we don't have the fabric for that, I don't think. No, 618. Never mind. We have plenty. Plenty. So let's go over here to miscellaneous. Egg box. We'll place 2 egg boxes down just so they're there. Eventually our colonists will move things over to this incubator itself and it won't be a problem. But in the meanwhile, it's still a thing. Otherwise, we're doing pretty well. We need to change these fences out for non-wood ones eventually, because if they burn down or get busted down, that's still going to be a problem. And we do still need to evaluate where we want to actually have our fights. Right now, the easiest place is just to pull all of our enemies into the middle of the range zone here. The problem with that's going to become, well, it's very easy to set fire there and then go all over animals. So we'll have to take a look and see. Mark this to be hauled urgently so it's not blocking the door off. What is our current research? Plate armor. We do need that. Because we're a transhumanist colony, we should probably work on some of our research being higher priority. Right now, our 2 researchers, Redorna and Rock, both have higher tier setting tier 2 priorities for handling animals. This may become a bit of an issue. So I think we're going to crank up the ability for our visitors to research. It's better than nothing. Same thing with Davis. We'll turn on research for him. Actually, we're going to turn on research for everybody just at a low tier. At least so that way, if there's nothing being done, we'll still get some research done so we can get forward progress. Because that's going to need to be done at some point. especially because we have a fast research multiplier by virtue of being transhumanists. We get a couple more points, we can develop our ideology more. Speaking of which, installer apparel needs a veil. Do we not have a veil? We may not have any veils. We should probably work on that. Nope, we have veils, I just don't know who has them. In fact, here's what we're going to do. We're going to create some new clothing assignments because this... Oh, right, we forced them to wear armor. We're going to clear that out. A new outfit. This will be the installer outfit. Normally, I don't recommend creating custom managed outfit assignments, but for something like this, for a role, it's rather useful. Turn off animal apparel because we don't need that. We'll turn off hazmat because if we need that, we need to manually assign it anyway. And we're going to turn off tribal wear, slave body straps. We don't need jackets or parkas being worn because if we have them, they will wear them even though it's entirely too warm for that. Robes. That probably works. Turn off burkas. That should be good enough. And then we'll assign the installer to Redorna, and that should fix that issue for us. And we'll go put on veils. Because we have veils somewhere. Nope, wooden slice cap. I don't actually see any veils. It says we have them. I'm assuming, see, Rock is wearing one, but Rock shouldn't be. And Ari's wearing one, that's what it is. Okay, so let's take a quick look at our ideology. As far as custom clothing, we have the leader has a slice cap requirement, our moral guide has a veil requirement, and our research specialist has a cape requirement. So we're going to go into the defaults, and we're going to turn off veils, slice caps, and capes. And let's verify real quick, we don't have a clothing requirement in general. Nope, everybody wants slice caps. All right, so let's turn that back on then. We just need to make sure we have enough slice caps for everybody in the colony. So we'll go ahead and do this. They're going to take their veils off once they wake up. We're going to make a couple more slice caps. So we have 5 full-time people here in our colony now. Let's go ahead and make a couple extras because we've got 3 people we're trying to recruit eventually. Let's bring that up to 9 so we have 1 spare. We're going to drag capes up above recycle. Same thing with the shirts. We're just going to make extras, just to be on the safe side. Our biggest issue for production now is the fact we don't have any slate blocks cut. So we need to make sure we're getting that done. We do still have make any stone blocks active, which is good. We do have chunks and more that'll be pulled. We just need more stuff. We need robots or colonists. But we are getting some research done finally. To get to robots, we need fabrication. Fabrication is way down here, so we may need to start pushing things harder. We are transhumanists. Eventually, we're going to start looking for things like biosculpting as a requirement, bioregulation as a requirement. These are things that we'll have to have, and we'll need to have power to support them as well. We could go for something like solar or geothermal. Could also consider looking into nuclear power early on. I don't really want to do that. We do have this nice little steam geyser here right near our base. We could always build up more defensive walls. The problem's going to come eventually in the fact that steam geysers are really useful for recreation. And there aren't any others really close by. So we could still do steam power and just wall it in. But we'll see how that goes. Some of our hay has deteriorated in storage. That's just fine. We have a caravan from the Concord of Canrayan approaching. They're exotic goods traders. That's good. Let's take a quick look at who our traders are. Roscoe. Roscoe, go trade with this exotic goods trader gentleman here. It would be neat to get some of this stuff, but I don't know that we can afford a whole lot of it. The flat screen television would be nice from a recreation perspective. None of these are things I really have to have right this moment. A steel arm would be good to have just because we are transhumanists and replacing body parts to be seen as a good thing. But a steel arm is basically a club, and that's not a great one. So we're going to hold off on that for the moment. We could get a goose, but that's not going to be helpful at the moment. We have nothing really to trade out. We could trade out the thrumbo. That's a lot of silver. It's expensive. It eats a lot. I still feel like having it in the colony is probably a good thing for the time being. So we're going to leave it the way it is. Good to know what they have that can get to us, though. Let's build some more beds, because we clearly need them. We're still going to maintain the pattern we were using before, because, well, this is how I work. I don't know if there's any value in running the spacing this way versus, say, protection against disease and the like, but we'll see how it goes. There are rare thrombos, which is great. It would be good to have, but we don't have anybody with any kind of inspiration right now for taming. And the problem is thrombos are incredibly difficult to tame, as you'll see here. Minimum handling skill of 10. Nobody has a handling skill of 10. Oh, I take it back. Winter does. Huh. Winter has a taming of 10. This actually might... There's no chance that they'll fail. We can give that a shot. Who's currently assigned to taming work? Everybody is. Well, I thought thrombos would rage on a failure. So either this is a mod doing this or something's broken. And this is going to come back to bite us. They left us a buffalo wool lady's hat of good quality, even though we didn't trade with them. Maybe they thought we were in need. Verdorni, you should really wear... You should really be wearing a veil. I'm gonna pause this real quick because I'm pretty sure we have a mod that allows us to wear face wear along with helmets. But maybe we don't, and that's a problem. We do. We have combined face and hat items, so I'm not sure why we're not wearing both. That's interesting. We have combined face and hat items, so Redorna should be wearing a veil along with... Oh, because I'd never Whenever you force somebody to dump something, it automatically forbids it so they don't pick it back up again immediately. And I foolishly forgot to unforbid those. I don't want to keep 2 donkeys for 15 days. Those aren't even great rewards. We're just not going to do that. Sorry, Empire. We're just going to continue on our way. Yet more hay has deteriorated away. We should probably get some chilled storage for the hay, so it's not just constantly deteriorating. So how do we want to go about that? It needs to be accessible by both. And it needs to not have issues with the temperature. So I think we're going to do it over here. Fire. I'm slightly concerned about that, but not enough to drag my home zone further out. That's going to spread. That's going to spread, and it's not going to be good. We'll see. Somebody go grab that hat. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. This could go poorly. In the meanwhile, let's get to work on building things. So we're going to go with slate walls again. And we're going to do a 4, another 6. We're going to relocate this outside. We're going to reinstall this outside as well. Mark this for mining. We'll build a copy here. It's the problem with these graves. They're right in the way. What a shame. What a shame. Oh, the mod got updated. You can now do replacements over fences. Oh, I love this. This was previously an issue where fences were classified as something you could not build over with the mod that lets you do replacements. So I'm very glad that got updated. And we'll build some animal flaps. And we'll mark this for a double thick wall. Except for at the door. Actually, we're going to modify this. Going to modify this slightly so we have a miniature airlock for the animals. Because that seems like the better way to go about doing this. And we'll just widen this out a little bit deeper. And there's some more components back in here. That's good. Who has heat stroke? The people who don't matter. Cobra with top hat. There's so many wild pigs up here. Mark this to build another copy. So once this is done, we'll rig up some thermal controls in here, just like we did down here, and then we'll put our hay boxes inside here, and that will make it so that people will go eat inside the cooled off room. We're making these a little bit bigger than they necessarily have to be, because that way we don't have to worry about thermal fluctuations as much. The bigger the room is, the easier it is to keep it properly cooled. And we have our plate armor research complete. Let's go ahead and go back here to that, and we're going to grab... We're going to go for machining. We don't need the power just yet, but that's good to have in general. As far as production goes, go ahead and set up a smithy. I'm going to stick it down here. We'll build another chair. Problem solved. Problem nice and solved. We just need to wait for resources now. Stone cutting is an activity people will do, which is good. Double check our home zone. We don't need to expand it. That's good. We're good there. We're going to expand this a little bit. Wait. We're going to clear the home zone out this way. We don't want anything on this side of the river being cared about as far as fire or the like, because the fire will stop at the river. And that's the important part. We also don't want people necessarily going over there when battle comes. We did replace the armor stands mod in the mod list with the gear up and go, which is good. Get resistance 0, so we'll be able to get recruitment going on them soon, which is good. We do need more beds. So we have these nice double beds. That's a poor quality bed, so we're going to deconstruct it. Also a poor quality bed, we're going to deconstruct it. Which means we need to build copies again. So we'll try this again. Once these 3 leave, we'll have room for our new recruit. We have a quest for Vega. Where is... That's a long travel. Like, even if we wanted to go up this way, that's 2.5 days each way. I'm going to say probably not, unfortunately. Sorry. And we have... There we go. Larcontro has joined us now. Sweet. So they can't do any doctor work, but they're sanguine and kind, which is great from a mood perspective. They've got good animal skills, which is important to us. Let's go ahead and get them set up with tasks. There's a low psychic drone, that's not great. He's got some shooting skills, that's not bad. Again, once we'll put Winter back on hunting duty once we can fix her eyes. Harvesting, we don't want anything done of there. We're going to crank loading up in general. Loading is used for setting caravans. We should get in the habit of setting that high now while we can. I think that's probably it for him. Outside of animals, his biggest value is going to be in the fact that they can haul things. Davis is on a food binge. Well, that's unfortunate, but, you know, we can't really do a whole lot about you there because that is what that is. Let's go ahead and fix your weapons, though. What do we have for other spare weapons besides this bow? Because this bow is atrocious. Let's be perfectly honest. We don't have any other weapons for you at the time being, though. We have no other weapons at the time being. Oh, and there is a raid. Well, we don't see any better weapons, so that is what it is. We're going to go ahead and toggle the emergency button. It's going to automatically set our active policy from better pawn control from the default policy over to fight for schedule, assignments, and the animal zones. Right now, that doesn't really do anything different for the animals. It probably should, but we'll see how that goes. It's going to set everybody to the anything current outfit, which is good. Actually, we need to have that for Radorna not change, because Radorna does have armor under the installer. So we'll go ahead and fix that now. We don't have any combat-specific settings, but it's good enough as it is. It will restrict everybody automatically, however, by zones. You can see it's moved everybody back to home. We hadn't configured that for Contra yet because they just joined us. And as far as animals go, where is Zone 1? Actually, let's create a new zone. This is going to be Animals Normal. And we'll do a new area. I can type. Animals Fight is going to be just inside only. So basically the value of this is that it allows us to go through and say any of the zonable animals that aren't confined to pens are now limited to where they can go. And we'll go ahead and say they can come in here as well. Does this mean they might potentially run across the open field? Absolutely. From here to get food when they're hungry. So they might still become a casualty, but it should drastically reduce that. When we go into animals, since we're under the animal fight policy, we'll now move this to animals fight. So they'll hide, except the Thrumbo. We want the Thrumbo to stay outside, because the Thrumbo is kind of a beast. And they are combat trained, mostly. They're getting trained. Maybe not. We might have to prioritize this before this Thrumbo goes wild again. Oh, okay. Well, raid from the apes. They're attacking immediately. We have an axe, Ooh, this might be good though. It's a poor quality hand cannon. That's unfortunate. He does have a cloth jacket though, which will give some. We'll give some armor and a lever action rifle. They're all poor. That's not great quality for the weapons, but it is what it is. We need to get things set up. So as far as this goes, we're going to have everybody gear and go down to here. We want these three to move. Oh, Davis is still in a mood. That's unfortunate. Radorna's melee. Roscoe has a gun. So we're going to put Roscoe here. Ari has a gun. We'll put Ari here. Winter has a gun, even though it's a terrible accuracy when we'll put it there. And Rock and Radorna and... No, we don't want Larcontra. We'll put the two of them back here so they can move forward. As need to be in Larcontra with the bow will be there. That should be a pretty good set. See where everybody's going to end up moving to. We're going to use our visitors, who we don't necessarily like, and we still suspect of coming to betray us like the last ones did. We're going to set them... We're going to set them to be the front line. Well, Roscoe, that was unfortunately a terrible shot. Ooh, that was a beautiful headshot, though. Ari's machine pistol. All right. That worked out pretty well. Zai, go... Hang on. We're going to pause this real quick. Yuko May, bleeding out in 3 hours. Nope, we're going to let that go. They're not... There's no way they're going to be good enough to be worth trying to save that rapidly. Amaya's fleeing through our pen, fleeing in panic. Cap is fleeing in panic. That's the important part. Dead. 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 We're going to unforbid all these. Let's take a quick look before I release everybody. Zai has a condition that he's tending. He did take a lever action rifle shot to the torso. That'll need to be tended. But that's fine. Going to shift click to release the gear and go. Undraft everybody. Turn off the emergency beacon. That reverts everything back to the way it was before. So you'll see here on the schedule, we're back to default policy and everything's unrestricted. That's the important part. Same thing with the animals. They're now back to their normal stuff. Except these had never had a default set. Because they were born during the fight. We're going to let this go. Because ultimately the problem is going to come down to the fact that we can't save them. They've got too many injuries and not enough good doctors. We need to figure out where Contra is going to stay, though. Another poor bed. That's a good bed, though. That's good. Deconstruct this. Oh, build a copy. Not there, though. There. We need to expand these walls out some, so we're going to build another. Yes, this is a slightly smaller room. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference, though. We just need to make sure that everybody has their own specific individual bedrooms, because that's the important part. And, of course, we're going to build another vent copy. Can't until the wall's built. That's okay. We have plenty of wood. It's less of an issue once our visitors leave. But for right now, it's better than nothing. We do need some armor, though. So now that we have this electric smithy, we need to make some armor. We don't have the research yet to make higher quality armor, but we do have plate armor. That's the important part. We can get flak armor once machining's done. So I don't want to make too much armor yet, but everybody needs a helmet. So we're going to do until X. We want to have 8 helmets, not 108, 8 helmets. We're going to include equipped ones. We're going to count if people are away. We want them to have at least 51% hit points because that's how that should go. Eventually, when we have more armor, we'll modify the fight loadout so that it has a higher threshold for the hit points for the armor. We'll have a specific assignment for that. But for right now, it's not really that important. We're going to start with a loud crafting skill 4 because I don't believe we currently have anybody with a great crafting skill. 5, 4, 3, 5. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of great crafting yet. Eventually, as more stone blocks are constructed, this won't be a big deal because we can just raise their crafting skill that way. But that'll be what it is for now. We should probably get a smelter going. Just so we can smelt things down. We have some brewing. It also might not be a bad idea to set up a crematorium. I don't know where I want to put that, though. Maybe, you know what, we'll put the crematorium. What do we have the most of right now? Granite, we want to save that for walls. We don't really have enough to do anything. Oh, a mad wild boar. Well, that is unfortunate. We'll see how that goes. He's going to try to smash down doors. Larcontra is going to shoot at him. There we go. Yeah, we're getting some work going on. Oh, please don't shoot Larcontra. Thank you. That went pretty well, actually. That actually went pretty well. So I think we're going to mark this for slate. We're going to stick it over here, out of the way. It's roofed over so it won't catch fire or blow up in the rain, which is honestly the most important part. did our contract go? Oh, okay, he's been tended. That's good. Sometimes things actually go the way they're supposed to and they go quickly, which is nice. This is probably a good point to wrap up this episode. I appreciate everybody who came out, who watched the video. If you could, press the like button. That thumbs up really does help for visibility and getting these videos out there. Feel free to subscribe if you like the content you see here. I also stream over on Twitch a couple times a week. You can find that information below in the description, along with a full copy of the mod list as it's currently updated. Appreciate everything. See you all later. Stay safe, and as always, stay goose.